Welcome to our deep dive today,
Okay.
where we're exploring this fascinating and often mysterious concept of Kundalini.
Right.
We've got a unique perspective to work with this time, a Spanish YouTube video
Oh, wow.
where a hypnotist
Okay.
named Calogero Grifasi
Mm-hmm.
interviews a woman named Monica
Interesting.
while she's in a hypnotic trance.
Yeah. That's a really intriguing approach, I think, because it allows us to kind of tap into a level of consciousness that's not usually accessible
Exactly.
in everyday life.
So we'll be listening to Monica's experience to unpack what Kundalini is,
Right.
how it might be activated, what
Right.
happens when it is,
Right.
and why it might even matter to you, even if
Practicing.
meditation isn't exactly your thing.
Yeah, it's worth noting that Kundalini is often described as this potent energy source coiled at the base of the spine like a serpent waiting to be awakened.
Oh, okay.
But right off the bat, Monica offers a totally different visualization.
She does. While under hypnosis, she describes Kundalini as a sun with tentacles located above the head
Wow.
and connected to the physical body through the chakra system.
Interesting.
I found that so interesting because it really challenges the traditional imagery.
Absolutely. Instead of this serpent rising up the sky,
Right.
we have this image of radiant energy emanating from above.
Uh-huh.
I think it speaks to the idea of Kundalini being a source of illumination and expansion,
Uh-huh.
reaching out to connect with different aspects of our being.
I like that. It also makes me think about how personal these experiences can be. Even with a concept like Kundalini,
Right.
which has been explored for centuries,
Yeah.
people might perceive and interpret it in unique ways.
That's a really important point. And speaking of unique interpretations,
Okay.
Monica describes the awakening of this sun as an incredible sensory explosion.
Really?
It's as though all of her senses are amplified,
Wow.
allowing her to perceive realities beyond the physical world.
So she talks about experiencing new colors,
Yeah.
sounds,
Uh-huh.
and even dimensions and entities that we wouldn't normally be aware of.
That's right.
It almost sounds like a psychedelic trip.
There are definitely parallels to be drawn there, particularly the idea of expanded consciousness and accessing different realms of perception.
Okay.
But in the context of Kundalini,
Right.
this heightened awareness is often associated with spiritual growth
Okay.
and a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all things.
So how does this awakening happen? According to Monica, it's all about reaching a specific vibratory state.
She uses that term to describe a state of heightened energy and awareness.
Okay.
You can think of it like shifting your internal frequency to align with a higher level of consciousness.
I see. Monica believes this can be achieved through deep relaxation and meditation techniques that calm the mind and raise one's vibration.
Yes.
But what I found particularly fascinating was her mention of sound as a powerful catalyst
Right.
for Kundalini awakening.
Yes, she specifically mentions chanting and mantras,
Right.
which are often used in spiritual practices to focus the mind and shift one's energy.
Right.
It's interesting to consider the scientific basis for this, too.
I was wondering about that. Is there actual scientific evidence to support the idea of sound influencing consciousness?
There actually is.
Oh, wow.
Research in fields like cymatics shows how sound vibrations create visible patterns,
Yeah.
suggesting a deep connection between sound and energy.
Wow.
And in the realm of neuroscience,
Uh-huh.
studies on binaural beats have shown how specific sound frequencies can alter brainwave patterns and induce altered states of consciousness.
That's incredible. So even though Monica is speaking from her personal experience under hypnosis, there's a scientific foundation that might support some of her observations about sound and vibration.
It suggests that there's more to sound than meets the ear.
Right.
It has the potential to influence our consciousness and energy in profound ways.
Monica also mentioned something really intriguing.
What's that?
The idea that even intense emotions like extreme joy
Okay.
or pleasure can trigger a spontaneous Kundalini awakening.
Mhm.
That seems so different from the traditional approach of disciplined meditation and chanting.
It does, and it challenges the notion that Kundalini awakening is something that can only be achieved through specific practices.
Right.
It suggests that there might be multiple pathways to accessing this energy within ourselves.
Yeah.
Perhaps even experiences that shake us to our core,
Mhm.
whether positive or negative,
Yeah.
could have the potential to awaken this dormant energy.
That's a really interesting thought. It seems like Monica is presenting a more fluid
Right.
and dynamic view of Kundalini awakening.
Yeah,
But she also offers some words of caution.
she does, while she paints this fascinating picture of expanded awareness, and incredible potential. Mónica also highlights some potential pitfalls to be aware of.
Okay.
Especially for those seeking to deliberately activate their Kundalini.
And this is where we'll dive deeper in the next part of our exploration.
Yes, we'll delve into the potential downsides of Kundalini awakening.
Okay.
And explore what Mónica has to say about protecting ourselves from unwanted influences as we navigate this powerful energy.
Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Kundalini. In the last part, we explored Monica's unique perspective on this energy.
Right.
But she also mentioned some potential downsides to awakening this sun with tentacles she described.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like we're stepping into the shadow side of things now.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
While Kundalini awakening can lead to incredible growth and expansion, Mónica cautions that it can also open us up to vulnerabilities if we're not prepared.
That makes sense. It's like opening a door to a whole new world,
right?
And you never know what might be lurking on the other side.
Exactly.
One of the things Mónica specifically warns about is the risk of manipulation by negative entities, especially in group settings.
Yeah.
She even uses the word interferences, which sounds pretty ominous.
It does.
Yeah.
And it gets even more interesting because she compares it to a computer being hacked.
Really?
She suggests that if we don't have strong energetic boundaries and self-awareness, it's like leaving our systems vulnerable to malware.
So we're not just talking about some vague sense of negativity.
Right.
Mónica is suggesting that there are actual entities that can latch onto our energy and influence our thoughts and actions.
That's right.
Almost like a parasitic relationship.
That's a powerful image, isn't it?
It is.
And it raises some thought-provoking questions about the nature of consciousness and the subtle realms of energy that we might not normally be aware of.
So Mónica even recounts a specific story about a man named Jorge who experienced this kind of energetic interference during a group meditation retreat in Asia.
Interesting.
She describes it as a hand around his throat, choking him and preventing him from fully experiencing the benefits of the meditation. She even goes so far as to label this interference as a reptilian demonic entity, using the term archon, which I've heard before in the context of Gnostic traditions.
It's interesting that she uses that specific terminology, isn't it?
It is.
Archons are often depicted as these negative spiritual forces that seek to control and manipulate humanity. But it's important to remember that these are just labels and interpretations. What's crucial is understanding the underlying dynamic of energetic manipulation and how to protect ourselves from it.
Absolutely. And Mónica offers some practical insights into that. She talks about the importance of repetition in weakening the grip of these interferences. It's like she's suggesting that by consistently engaging in practices like meditation and cultivating self-awareness, we can essentially build up our energetic immune system.
I like that analogy. It emphasizes the importance of cultivating our own inner strength and resilience. Rather than relying on external forces to protect us.
Mónica also highlights the power of discernment, encouraging us to question everything we perceive and not blindly accept what we're told or shown, even in seemingly spiritual contexts. She even says, if you don't have a good connection with yourself, don't do it until you feel fully well. Ensure that you won't be seeking to connect with anything external because you don't need it.
That's such a powerful reminder that true spiritual growth comes from within. It's not about seeking validation or connection from external sources, but rather cultivating a deep understanding of ourselves and our own inner guidance.
So while Mónica acknowledges the potential downsides of Kundalini awakening, she's also empowering us to take responsibility for our own energetic well-being.
I agree.
It's not about living in fear of negative entities, but rather developing the tools and awareness to navigate these realms safely and consciously.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between openness and discernment, allowing ourselves to expand our consciousness while also staying grounded and connected to our own inner truth.
So we've talked about the risks, but what about the benefits? We know Mónica describes some pretty amazing experiences, like heightened senses and the ability to perceive other dimensions. Is that all there is to it, or is there more to this idea of Kundalini awakening?
That's a great question. While those sensory experiences are often associated with Kundalini awakening, Mónica points to something even more profound. An increased sense of certainty.
Certainty. What does she mean by that?
She describes it as this deep knowing and trust in your own perceptions. When you're in alignment with your true self, there's a clarity that transcends the doubt and confusion that often accompany energetic interference.
So it's not just about seeing cool colors or having out-of-body experiences.
Right.
It's about developing a deeper understanding of yourself and the nature of reality.
Exactly. And that clarity and certainty are often described as hallmarks of spiritual enlightenment. It's a sense of knowing that goes beyond the limitations of the rational mind.
That's fascinating. So in a way, Kundalini awakening could be seen as a path to greater self-knowledge and empowerment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Mónica also touches upon the connection between a Kundalini and the physical body, suggesting that the awakening of this energy can activate various points in the body, including the chakra system and the pituitary gland.
Wow.
She even compares it to a Christmas tree lighting up.
Oh, wow.
With each point of energy shining brightly.
I love that visual. It really highlights the potential for Kundalini awakening to have a profound impact on our physical well-being.
Yes.
Not just our spiritual awareness.
It's like a holistic transformation that encompasses all aspects of our being.
But I'm curious, didn't Mónica describe Kundalini as being located above the head? Which seems different from the traditional depiction of it being at the base of the spine?
You're right. She did describe it that way. Okay. Connecting to the physical body through the chakra system.
Right.
I think it reinforces the idea that our experiences and interpretations of Kundalini can vary widely based on individual perception and cultural influences.
Okay.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach to understanding this complex energy.
This is already so much to take in. But I have to ask about something else that really struck me.
Okay.
Mónica mentioned that children are born with their Kundalini activated.
Right.
Is she suggesting that we all have this potential for expanded awareness from the very beginning?
That's what's so fascinating about her perspective. She suggests that it's the various influences of the world, like environmental toxins, negative words from parents, and even certain foods that cause this energy to become dormant over time.
It's almost like we're born with this incredible gift, but then life kind of gets in the way and dims our inner light.
Right.
But if that's the case, is there a way to reclaim that innate energy? Can we reactivate our Kundalini as adults?
That's a question we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll delve into Mónica's insights on how to safely and effectively activate Kundalini.
Okay.
The role of sound and vibration and the transformative potential of this energy.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the mysteries of Kundalini. We've been on quite a journey with Mónica, haven't we?
We have.
From those potential pitfalls to the incredible benefits.
Right.
It's clear that Kundalini is a powerful force.
It really is. And now we're at the part where we get practical.
Okay.
We've heard Mónica's warnings and glimpsed the potential. But how do we actually approach this energy safely and effectively?
That's the million-dollar question. It's one thing to talk about Kundalini in theory,
right?
But putting it into practice feels like a whole different ballgame.
Exactly. And Mónica is very clear that it's not something to be taken lightly.
Okay.
She emphasizes the importance of preparation and guidance when seeking to activate Kundalini. She even uses a really relatable analogy.
Oh, I remember this. She compares it to driving a car.
Right.
You wouldn't just hop behind the wheel without knowing the rules of the road, would you?
It's the same with Kundalini.
Right.
It's a powerful energy that requires skill and understanding to navigate safely.
So what does that preparation look like?
Well, Mónica suggests techniques that might sound familiar to anyone interested in mindfulness or personal growth.
She talks a lot about deep relaxation and meditation.
Exactly.
Which makes sense. Those practices help us quiet the mind.
Right.
And become more aware of our internal state, right?
And remember that term she used, vibratory state?
Yeah.
She's talking about reaching a state of heightened energy and awareness, which is often described as a shift in your vibrational frequency.
Okay.
Deep relaxation and meditation can help create the right conditions for that shift to happen.
She also mentions sound as a powerful tool, specifically chanting and mantras, which are designed to resonate at specific frequencies. Earlier, we talked about how science is starting to understand the impact of sound on our brains and consciousness.
Right.
It seems like those ancient practices might have been onto something all along.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating to see how ancient wisdom and modern science are starting to converge in this area.
But beyond the specific techniques, what I find really interesting is Mónica's emphasis on this subjective experience of Kundalini awakening.
Okay.
Remember how she described it as a sun with tentacles above the head?
Yeah, that imagery really stuck with me too.
Well, she suggests that these tentacles can be used to explore different dimensions and realities, almost like extending your awareness beyond the physical realm.
That sounds incredible, but also a little intimidating.
I agree. And Monica acknowledges that. She cautions about the importance of discernment when navigating these expanded states of consciousness.
Yeah.
She emphasizes the need to be aware of potential deceptions and to trust our own intuition above all else.
So even though there's this potential for amazing experiences, we need to stay grounded and to remember that not everything we encounter in those expanded states is necessarily beneficial.
She reminds us that not everything that glitters is gold.
Right.
Just because something appears beautiful or enticing in those realms doesn't mean it's aligned with our highest good.
And she even suggests that some of the information and guidance available in the New Age movement can be misleading or even harmful.
That's a strong statement. It makes me think about the importance of finding trustworthy teachers and resources and really listening to our own inner wisdom as we navigate this path.
Absolutely. And speaking of inner wisdom, Monica really emphasizes the role of personal responsibility in Kundalini awakening. It's not something that can be forced or controlled by external forces. It's about creating the right conditions within ourselves.
So it's more about cultivating self-awareness, doing our inner work, and fostering a genuine desire for growth and transformation than it is about seeking out a specific technique or guru.
Exactly. It's like planting a seed. We can provide the right soil, water, and sunlight, but ultimately it's up to the seed to germinate and grow at its own pace. Kundalini awakening unfolds over time as we create the necessary internal conditions.
That makes sense. It's a journey, not a destination.
Right. And Monica ends her hypnotic journey with a powerful message of hope and empowerment. She reminds us that we all have the potential to awaken this energy within ourselves and experience the profound benefits it offers.
It's almost like we've spent this entire deep dive uncovering a hidden treasure. It's been inside us all along.
I love that analogy. And Monica encourages us to trust our own intuition, to seek guidance when needed, and to never give up on our journey of self-discovery. It's a reminder that we have everything we need within us to embark on this path of awakening and transformation.
This has been such a fascinating and insightful deep dive. I feel like I've learned so much. But I also have a sense that this is just the beginning of a much larger exploration. It makes you realize how much there is to discover, both within ourselves and in the world around us.
I completely agree. And while Kundalini may seem like a mystical concept, it ultimately points to the transformative power that lies within each of us. It's a journey of awakening, of connecting with our true nature, and realizing our full potential.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the mysteries of Kundalini. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking the truth that resonates with your soul.